tried to listen, but all I could focus on was the exhaustion and defeat in this father's eyes. My attention came back to his words when I heard him say in a cracked and broken voice, "I'm getting too old for this." I guessed he was probably in his mid to late 60s, but he looked to be nearly 80. He was tall and thin and frail-looking, white-haired and balding. He wore a dark flannel shirt and blue jeans, like an old farmer come to town for supplies. I could only imagine the hurt, disappointment, and weariness this man had experienced over the previous 30 years, but I didn't exactly have to imagine everything. As he turned away for a moment, frustrated with the scene his son had created, the father muttered, "I'm so tired." I paused for a moment to let him regain his composure. Then I realized why I was there. "I know what you're going through, sir," I said, recognizing at the moment it escaped my mouth how cliché it must sound. "You do," he said skeptically. "Yes, I do. I have a son just like your son. He's much younger and not nearly as big, but he has special needs like your Donald. And he throws very similar fits when he doesn't get his way. His name's Jake, and he is my life's great challenge." I placed my hand on the dad's shoulder and smiled. "And I know you're tired." I cautiously knelt back down to Donald's level and picked up his shoes and socks. I wasn't sure how he would react to me invading his space, and I fully expected to be kicked or punched by this large, confused man. Slowly, I unballed one of his socks and began putting it back on his foot. To my relief, he extended his leg in a sort of surrender to let me know he would comply. I rolled the sock gently over his toes, to his heel, and then up to his ankle. His pale, crooked feet felt cold and damp, and his long, sharp toenails were in need of a trim. Probably true to his lifelong routine, he extended the other foot for me to do the same. Once both socks were on, I unlaced his large, worn-out tennis shoes, slipped him on his feet, one at a time, and cinched him up. I gave them a double knot, like I had done for Jake so many times before. A stark vision from John 13 of Jesus washing his disciples' feet flashed across my mind, and I smiled as I thought to myself that the Lord may have had even this day in this parking lot in mind when he told his confused disciples, "What I am doing you do not understand now, but afterward you will understand." I was beginning to understand that there was much more going on here than a simple police response to an unspecified disturbance at a mall. Once the disheveled, childlike man was ready to get back on his feet again, I asked his dad, "What does Donald really like?" "Chicken nuggets and coffee," he replied. I turned back to Donald and slowly but excitedly asked, "How would you like your dad to take you to get some chicken nuggets and coffee, buddy?" He gave a silent nod of approval, and we helped him off the ground and into the truck. After buckling Donald in, the elderly man returned to his side of the truck with a simple expression of gratitude. He shook my hand and thanked me in a voice drained of all emotion. I shot back, "No problem. I do this for a living." Despite my official duties that day, I knew from experience that mostly he was thanking me because I could offer empathy and not just sympathy. Sometimes just being aware that someone else knows, really knows, what you're going through, is enough to bring great comfort in the midst of great despair. We both smiled with a freshly strengthened connection as I opened the driver's door for him. Just before climbing into the truck, he turned to me and said, "You know it gets worse, right?" "What gets worse?" I asked. "Your son," he replied. "It gets worse as they get older and you get older. They get stronger and you get weaker. You still love them the same, but it becomes impossible for you to take care of them. Even short visits become like this. Impossible." His words crushed me as I began to see myself in his weary face. I struggled to find some departing words of encouragement and hope, words for two desperate dads living in different seasons of the same struggling life. "Grace is like that, you know," I said in response. "It exposes our weakness in order to give us greater strength. I guess that's why we all have to depend on someone a little stronger than ourselves." At the moment, it was the best I could do. "Yeah, I guess so," he replied contemplatively as he shut the truck door. "Thanks again, friend." And he drove away.